when one romance. She warns me sternly to remember, after all these years, I'm coming back to a Lao house, Lao family, Lao customs, upon the agrarian outskirts of Modesto. You have to eat the Lao food they serve you, no complaining, even if you didn't grow up with it. Besides, it will be delicious. My nieces and nephews welcome us in, taking off our shoes by the door, smiles and zapadis. Shown to the table, we're informed everybody's ready for Easter and Pima Lao. It's Taco Wednesday tonight, with nachos and hot dogs, spaghetti and papaya salad, some brisket and jam. I eat politely, as home here as anywhere, with a smile. Knox airs. Never read my life as the diary of some sad refugee. My account is not intended as a routine narrative of adversity overcome, mere survival once again, transcending the descent to white-hot hell, converted to the placid limbo of frogs. No, I miss the familiar strange here in a way you cannot fathom. Our hard ghosts remain vigilant, thin as an ink scratch on an old palm leaf, haunting with a tongue claimed incomprehensible. The old signposts have been lost, but in strangeness, possibility. I hope, moving, a shadow in uncertain passages, making melodies for newsless souls. In daring this, might I shape some limitless star? We, scrambling to replace what we barely knew, barely recognize our tangled metamorphosis, our hymns of recovery, organs of uncertain purpose in the body cosmic, mistaken easily for endings, not new beginnings. For no one in particular. Please forgive me, but if I write a poem about you, we won't end up together. That's just the truth of it. After 3 decades, it's as good a deal as you get, poet from Vinchan. For my parting gift, please know, I'm returning now to my 10,000 verses of the Laopocalypse and all of its unspeakable calamities. In the camps, pretty sure nobody will say, at least we held the high moral ground. We did not compromise to survive, our principles pure, civility observed. Righteous as the fire flickers, full of history and tradition endured. Looking around, obediently. Fun song. I know. My younger brother wearies one day, after all it took to live here. His little nieces, who haven't even been born yet, won't understand a word of his poetry, or know how to dance with an elephant, let alone a Kinnelly or a New York Apsala. Putting Huasai on the literary map after centuries is a precedent, but is it poetry? To tell tomorrow, Sabaidi, how are you, from someone who cared enough to leave notes? Is that all a Lao poem can be in the shadow of Camp Pendleton? I show him a copy of CIA Dope Calypso. Why should a white howl be the very last word? I smile as he shows me all he can do with a pen. Deja vu. Ken Burns has been enough for Vietnam War. It's a documentary with a soundtrack to die for. 9 Inch Nails and Yo-Yo Ma, Ray Charles and CCR. 18 hours to cover a war of 20 years and 180 days, or 19 years depending on who you ask, picking up shortly after the end of a French at Dien Bien Phu. For the occasion, I filmed a poem of mine that summer that someone found again, one I wrote in 2002 as I remembered a visit in November 1997 in Missoula among Hmong veterans while searching for my family. It's a long story. A poem doesn't give you much time to talk about secret wars or Valkyries, specters, or the secret stories behind the code names of company men like Hog and Kayak, Black Lion, or Mr. Clean. I hold old photographs in my hand. I click through digital faces salvaged from old Legionnaire estate sales, dying photographers who thought I might like to know what they saw in my lost jungles, for a price. It's the closest I get to a time machine, with no way to change the present, but possibly the future. Still, I've said this to you before. In writing this, Time stops being a one-way river, less a bamboo sticks. 1,080 minutes is all the time they think we can spare, 40 years later on a war that never ended for many of us. Our voices fleet in smoke they try to box into a neat package, believed a bygone era will never relive again, Buddhist ideas aside.